begin this documentary, I'd like to show you guys some definitions. The definition of biomedical engineering. It is a word that's commonly misinterpreted, and most people have their own interpretation of the word clone. These are two words that are key to this project. Now, what does a biomedical engineer do? A biomedical engineer designs limbs and organs that will benefit a person's life. This is Hugh here, a biomedical engineer and a mountain climber. As you can see, Hugh lost his legs, and this is a more primal state of legs he created. Hugh designed his own legs, accustomed to what he needed and what he wanted. In this picture, you see him climbing the mountains he once thought he would never climb again. And in this picture, he's walking on stage, presenting his theories of biomedical engineering. This young lady took the stage with Hugh. She as well lost her leg. She lost her leg in the Boston Marathon bombings. She was a dancer. She thought she would never be able to dance again. But through the miracles of biomedical engineering, she was able to dance on stage and walk alongside with Hugh. She thanks Hugh for everything he's done for her. To begin this next section, I'd like to play a little game. You have to name each organ you see on the screen. One of the organs will be quite obvious, hence it is labeled. You will have 5 seconds to name each organ. Ready, go. Did you get all of them? Didn't think so. The one thing that biomedical engineering has failed to compensate for is the most crucial thing: organs. Bionics have to be changed every certain amount of years to compensate for someone's growth. Now that's easy for arms and legs, an easy change. But for a heart to be changed every certain amount of years, or a lung, or a pair of kidneys, that's almost ridiculous. How can you expect someone to go into surgery that many times and not feel the drag and the weight of being opened over and over? An individual will find himself changing his limbs for more inefficient prosthetics. This is where cloning can change everything. For the most part, people have the wrong idea of when they think of a clone. They think of something from TV or even cartoonish. They think of something being an exact copy. The most famous of these ideas of what a clone actually is a Star Wars clone, when actually a clone is nothing like this. In actuality, a Star Wars clone is the wrong idea of a clone. These kind of clones, these Star Wars clones, are actually or more accurate to what a clone actually is. A clone can have a different outside appearance, but as long as the genes and the DNA is the same, they are considered to be cloned. Take Cece the cat, for example. This is Cece the cat and the original. They have different furs, but genetically they are identical, making them clones. Clones are most commonly compared to identical twins, on the outside looking very similar, but having some minor differences, like fingerprints, eye color, different hair texture. But all in all, their genes and DNA is identical, making them clones of one another. These two tortoises, for example, are not clones, but they are identical twins because they came from the same mother and during the same batch of tortoise hatchlings. Tortoises on the outside may have some slight differences, but genetically they are the same, and they will carry on their mother's and father's genes onto the next gene pool. The differences might be minor, but these differences can be the key factor in determining how a tortoise behaves. See, these tortoises are identical twins, and they have different characteristics. They all have their own personalities. A clone will not be an exact copy of another person if that method of cloning is decided to be used. Through the research of DNA, scientists have been able to find a way to copy and paste DNA it is exactly what it says, copying and pasting. A portion of a person's DNA can be cut and placed into another sample of DNA. This is useful in xenotransplantation. Xenotransplantation is copying and pasting a person's DNA into an animal's DNA. Now for a human, the DNA will be cut and placed into a pig embryo. The pig embryo will then grow and supplement essential human organs, such as kidneys. These could be used for different purposes. Now this is great news because it is DNA and it's specific to any human. Therefore, the risk of rejection of the organ from the body is greatly lowered. With the help of my mentor, I was able to work hands-on with DNA samples in a high school lab. Using a Mini-1 system, I was able to do an electrophoresis lab after school one day, and I was able to see how DNA is stretched out. Keep in mind that this is my mentor and I's first time working with this specific lab. The materials used in the lab were brand new and had never been used before by any Pioneer High School student. The lab itself took 2 attempts for us to get any results. The first attempt was just a run-through to see if anything would happen. The second attempt, we actually got something. This is me dispersing DNA and dye into the lab. This is the actual Mini-1 electrophoresis chamber. Electrophoresis works with positive and negative flows of electricity to stretch out the positive and negative ends of DNA. The electrophoresis chamber has UV lights, but with an orange hood, the lights look green. The green lights will eventually indicate and highlight where the DNA is and the pattern of DNA. Here in this first attempt, you can hardly see it. Hardly see any DNA in the left side. This is the DNA jelly afterwards. Faint shades of blue. This is what the lab should have looked like, with bright colors of DNA, bright strands of DNA as well. Many critics of stem cell cloning claim that stem cells are way too close to life. They believe stem cells look like this, as opposed to rather than seeing like this, looking like a Van Gogh painting. Most of the hate for stem cell research comes from conservative Americans. For the most part, conservative Americans are too concerned with religion, and the politicians are too concerned with losing their religious base voters. This could cost them elections. However, how can any progress be done and move forward if technology isn't moving forward? This is why stem cell research is a necessity. Through the cloning of stem cells, medicine will have breakthroughs like never seen before. This will allow countless Americans who have lost limbs and organs do things they never thought they could do before, like swim in a swimming pool, or go down a water slide, or even go on a nice hike. Ultimately, these activities allow people to appreciate life and what it has to offer. Life has the ability to make someone feel so insignificant, and that's a beautiful feeling to have. And nobody should be limited to the experience of life. Life is something precious and shouldn't be wasted in a wheelchair or on crutches. Through biomedical engineering and cloning, life could be limitless. Technology would allow people to do things they once thought they would never be able to do before. A human is never broken, said Hugh Hare. And now with biomedical engineering and cloning, this could be all the more true than it already was. Thank you for watching.